Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for the day. We're going back into r/Tales of Neckbeard because honestly, I do love the fact that my subscriber count started to go up a little more, so you know what, that good old dopamine rush is nice and all. If you guys would like to be absolutely amazing and show your support and see more content like this, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up the wholesome internet discussions, and if you have not already, subscribe and turn on notifications. Okie dokie, let's go. Our first story comes with us from username Pumpkin Pav. Neckbeard from high school makes a return. So, never really thought I'd get to make a post here since my interactions with this guy were pretty limited. Some backstory, I knew this guy in high school and elementary school since my mom dated his older brother, but that was before he came a neckbeard. He wore fedoras to school and was a brony and milady, like full-on neckbeard, just without the beard. Luckily, I didn't interact with him outside of the time he tried to convince me that bronies were being discriminated against and couldn't keep jobs because they were fired for being bronies. And that time he asked me out, on my first day of school, after being away from that school district for 2 years. And the thing was, back then, when he knew me, I was like halfway to a legbeard, namely in the fact that I was anime obsessed and pretty smelly because I couldn't bring myself to shower or eat right, so I was pretty overweight. Close to obese if I'm being completely honest. However, it turned out I had major anxiety and depression, and once I got myself help, I turned my life around and am slowly becoming a fully functioning member of society. Anyways, just keep in mind that the shy, nerdy, and chunky girl is who he knew and remembered me as when we happened to meet each other again. I've been working at the local Dollar General. It's my first real job, and I got it once I got my meds. Thank God they had an opening because it's the only place I can walk to for work. Still working on the license thing, but am working on it. And because my town is basically in the middle of nowhere, it's frequented by locals, and Neckbeard, as it turns out, is still one of the locals. Anyway, he comes in, and because I was working on totes, I didn't see him until I got back to the register and he was standing there. He was surprised to see me there, which is understandable because I haven't shown my face since I had graduated. It starts off okay with us catching up. I ask how his brother is and all, and then he tells me how good I look, most likely a reference that I finally learned how to take care of my curls and the weight I've lost since he last saw me. And it's fine, it's okay even if I'm a little uncomfortable because he always made me a little uncomfortable. I finished checking him out and wished him a good day, only for him to pause and tell me he's actually going to look around a little bit more. I wish him luck and go back to working on totes, which I find a box of Pokemon card packs. We usually run out of these like the day we get them, so I got to stock them right away, and I kneel down since the bag is somewhat close to the floor. Next thing I know, I feel a sweaty body mass behind me, almost pressed against my back completely, reaching for the cards. I freaked out because A, I'm still not used to physical contact, and B, even if I was at work, and feeling someone press themselves up against you is sincerely freak out worthy. I move out of the way and scramble up, and of course it's Neckbeard. I laugh and tells me he's sorry, he just saw me putting up the cards and got excited, and that I was just so small now and as short as ever, 5 foot flat, and he hadn't seen me there. I awkwardly tell him to be more careful, and he lets me know he's done and going to check out again. I tell him okay and I'll be up in just a second. However, when I get up there, he's behind the counter, which is bad on its own because everyone knows no customers are supposed to be back there, but he was drinking out of my fountain drink that I had just bought back from work. I freaked out and asked him what the heck he thought he was doing. He laughed again and told me that we had almost been family once, so it was no big deal and he was thirsty. I told him in no way was that appropriate and was this close to having a panic attack until my coworker happened to pass by and saw a customer behind the counter and me freaking out. She made him leave the Pokemon cards there and leave the store, him protesting the whole way that we were friends and it was no big deal. Meanwhile, I was still freaked out. My coworker let me go sit in the break room to calm down and told me if he comes back just to let someone know and they'll cover for me. Luckily, I haven't seen him again yet, but he did try to add me as a friend on Facebook, which I've ignored, so that he doesn't try and confront me about why I rejected his request. I gotta admit, some people just honestly don't know what is not okay in their head, and like seriously, the Pokemon thing, I've seen stuff like that happen. People will like hover around the person stocking the counter, and not even before the person finishes, as soon as their stuff is on the little peg for what it hangs on, they go to grab it, and like seriously, let the person go. And just in general, can people not be creeps to people working? Like seriously, have some respect for the people helping you out. And also for the whole drinking thing, can you just get your own? Like seriously, you're cheap and you're creepy. Those are two C's that do not need to be in the same sentence or just need to be used at all. Even with my closest of friends, if any of them ask, hey, can I try your drink? They do that air sip stuff. Like, please do not sip out of anybody's cup unless they're okay with it. Our next story comes to us from username The 80s Aesthetic. The neckbeard my sister was dating tried to force me to mess around with him. Hey guys, after listening to a bunch of neckbeard stories on YouTube, I decided to share one I was a part of around 14 months ago. I don't know if this entirely fits, but here it is. Also, first post, new to Reddit, formatting, mobile, all those apologies. I'll be changing all of the names except mine because I don't really care about my own being out there. So, that being said, here's the story. Last year, I would pick my sister up from school since she didn't have a car and I wasn't going to college. She was 17 and I was 19. Now, my sister, she'll be called Elle, was your typical neckbeard bait. She's fairly attractive, long blonde hair, green eyes, and a great personality. She's a joy to be around and seems to like everyone and everything. She's watched quite a bit of anime and read lots of manga. Elle's friend group was normal, filled with people who fit her interest and personality. I've talked to quite a few of her friends, one of them being my own. They're all chill, really good people, which makes it so weird that neckbeard NB was part of it. NB wasn't the stereotypical neckbeard in terms of looks. He was actually pretty attractive. He was lean, never smelled like BO, and wasn't greasy. He did, however, have a bit of a neckbeard growing, so by looks you wouldn't expect it. He liked anime and all that, but his personality was just god-awful. He was constantly putting others down subtly, but it was still there. He was a major creep. It was freaking scary how good he was at manipulation and making it seem like he wasn't degrading his and Elle's friends as well as Elle, even if he was. Once I met him, I disliked him. I have a lot of experiences with people like him, so I knew pretty quickly what type of guy he was. I voiced these concerns to Elle, but she brushed them off, believing there was good in everyone. The first time I met him was when I went to pick up my sister from an after-school club. I forgot which one, but NB was in it too. She asked me to give him a ride home as well, so I decided that since he was her boyfriend, it wouldn't be that bad. Oh, no, how wrong I was. Right off the bat, he noticed my shirt. Is that Green Day shirt? I love them. Oh, really? They're one of my favorite bands. Yeah, I totally love to have a night with the singer. You know, alone. Come to think of it, you kind of look like him. What's your name? Me starting to become very comfortable. I'm Gerard. I love that name. It rolls off the tongue nicely. I started to get very uncomfortable now. Elle didn't seem to notice, so I didn't mention it, not wanting to ruin her day. Normally, saying I looked like BJA would be an ordinary compliment I received. I had the same hair as him and somewhat of the same fashion sense, but the comment before the comparison rubbed me wrong, and the part about my name even more so. I stopped the conversation there, and we didn't say anything else to each other until I dropped him off. Thanks for the ride. Maybe I'll see you later. He gave me this awkward wink before walking away, and Elle moved to the front seat. I don't like him. He's nice, once you get to know him, really. She seemed set on that, so I didn't push the topic more. Over the next few months, I'd seen a lot more of NB, enough to see that he was not the kind of guy I wanted around Elle or anyone really. He was perverted and degrading, and I absolutely despised him. But the encounter I'd like to talk about is what happened on Elle's birthday. She invited all of her friends, including NB. I had gotten a hold of some alcohol through some friends. Where I live, it's legal to drink underage with consent from parents, and I baked a cake. The whole house was decorated, and everything seemed to be going great. I stayed away from the group, letting Elle have her fun around her friends, and drank by myself on the couch, making sure that nothing too bad happened. I talked to one of mine and Elle's mutual friends, F. F hung with me towards the middle, when I had started to get drunk enough to act a bit out of character, but not enough to not remember what would happen. Dude, look, motions behind me. I looked where he suggested, only to see NB staring at me from where he sat with Elle and her friends. I looked away. You're all he talks about now, you know? He's one of the heck of a crush on you. Really? I've had around 2 conversations with him max. Yeah, it's crazy. It makes Elle hecka weirded out. As if he could hear us talking about him, NB sat next to me on the couch, close enough to have our thighs touching. Hi guys, F, I think Elle is going to start a game of Uno. She wants you to join. F decided to join L, giving me a sympathetic look as he left me with NB. Good God, once we were alone, it started. His hands never left me. They were always on a part of me, whether it was my clothes or actual body parts. I never liked being touched much, so it creeped me out and put me on edge. At this point, though, I was too drunk to be able to do anything about it. Hey, Gerard, you seem to be close with F. Huh? Oh, yeah, he's a good friend. His tone, from what I remember, was slightly off, as if he was angry at me. How have you been? You look good. It's been a while since I've seen your pretty face. I shifted away from him then. I remember not wanting to be anywhere near him as he said that. What made it worse was his hand on my arm. I wanted to vomit. Thanks. Could you please not touch me? Why? Are you gay? That was a head spinner at the time. I wasn't out to a lot of people then, only L, F, and some of my other friends. I asked how he knew that, and he said he saw L texting me once about it. I sighed. Aren't you dating L? Yeah, but it's recent, and it's not like I'm not allowed to experiment. His hand moved to my thigh, and I attempted to shift away, but I had drunken a lot by that point that I wasn't anywhere near strong enough to move his 6-foot body with my 5'6". He moved to press into me more and grab my chin, forcing me to kiss him, and I tried to wiggle away. It didn't work. He shifted to move on top of me and his knee pushed into my crotch. Oh, just let it happen. I promise it'll feel fine. I started to have a panic attack as memories of past years came back from his actions, and I started to sob. I all but screamed to get him off, called Elle's name, and started to thrash around. He seemed to get scared by the actions and jumped off. I don't remember what happened after that, as I was in the middle of a panic attack, but I was told that he left and L and F helped me up to stairs to my room. Again, I don't know if it fits here much, but I didn't know where else to go and I needed to get it off my chest. Yeah, way to go getting yourself shunned from everybody around you. That's totally definitely gonna put somebody in a good mood to see you again. I don't think I will ever and don't really ever want to understand why anybody would try to justify that at their actions just because they're liquored up. Like, it doesn't make it okay in any way, shape, or form. Doesn't matter your sobriety, and it's going to make it so that nobody's going to want to ever hang out with you, and I really hope this dude's family knows about this. But with that is going to have to be it with the video. If you guys want to see more videos like these, the storytime formats and stuff, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below because the engagement helps in the algorithm, and I very much so appreciate that. And if you guys have not already, subscribe and turn on those notifications. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.